I'm Marinko Spasojevic, and in this video, I will continue working with Keycloak, Blazor WebAssembly, and .NET Web API. This time, I will focus on implementing role-based access control. I'll show you how to assign roles in Keycloak and use them to control access in both the API and Blazor app. Proper role management is essential for securing your application, so stay tuned to learn how to do it the right way. If this video is helpful, please don't forget to hit the like and subscribe buttons to help me and the channel as well. Now, let's get started. As you've seen from my previous video, where I implemented the authentication functionality, I already have a user created and I can assign a new role to it. If you didn't watch the previous one, you will find it linked in the description below. But first, let's create some roles. To do that, let's navigate to the Blazor Web API realm and open the Realm Roles menu. Here, I will create two roles. So let's click this Create Role button and add the name for this first role, Administrator. And let's do the same for another one and name it Visitor. Once I have the required roles, I want to assign the Administrator role to the existing user. To do that, let's navigate to the Users menu, the one I created in the previous video, open the Role Mapping tab, click the Assign Role button, and in the drop-down list select Filter by Realm Roles. Then choose the Administrator role and click the Assign button. Great, that's the role assigned to an existing user and I can move on. Just before I do that, I would like to let you know about our courses. We just released the Minimal API online text course that you can find alongside the Ultimate ASP.NET Core Web API, Blazor WebAssembly, and Microservices courses. So feel free to check out our new platform and explore all the courses available. Now, what I also want to do is to enable new registered users to get a role assigned automatically. To do that, I need first to enable user registration. By navigating to the Realm Settings menu, let's open the Login tab and set the user registration box to On. Also, now on the same page, I can navigate to the User Registration tab, the last tab on the right. Click the Assign Role button, change the DDL to Filter by Realm Roles, select the role that we want newly registered users to have by default, the Visitor role, and click the Assign button. With this prepared, we assign roles with Keycloak to already registered users. At this point, I can run my Blazor app and test this. Let's click the Login button, and there is the register link as well. So let's click on it. Now, I will populate the form to register a new user. The username will be CodeMazeVisitor. Let's add the password here and repeat it here. Let's use some dummy email like codemazevisitor@gmail.com. The first name will be CodeMaze and the last name will be Visitor. Okay, let's click the Register button and we are done. You can see the new user is registered and logged in. Now, to check if the role is included, we can inspect the Application tab of DevTools and in the Session Storage find the OpenID Connect entry, the same as I did in the previous video. Let's copy the access token and decode it. We should see Realm access with roles. But I don't want that. I want to have a role mapper for this to make it more intuitive and client-friendly. So, to create the correct mapping, let's open the Client Scopes menu and find the Role Scope and click on it. We can see a new Roles page with the Settings tab active. But I want to click on the Mappers tab, find Realm Roles Mapper, change token claim name to role, not roles, Blazor expects a role, set the Add to ID token checkbox to Yes to include the claim in the ID token, Add to Access token and multi-valued options are already set to On, but I also want to set the Add to User Info to On. Finally, let's click the Save button. Again, for each of these options, you have a question mark icon that provides some explanation about that option. Now, to enable roles in Blazor app, I need to modify the OpenID Connect configuration inside the program class. So, let's use the options parameter and call the user options property and then the RoleClaim property to set the claim name to role. That's it. Now, if I run the app again, log in with the visitor user, and inspect the token the same way I did previously, we can see the RoleClaim here with multiple roles as an array of strings. Well, with this done, I can protect the weather page to be accessed only by the administrators. So I will just modify the authorize attribute here by adding the roles property and setting it to administrator. Also, since we have two users with different roles assigned, we can test this by hiding the weather menu from the users with the visitor role inside the nav menu component. I will cut the weather menu and then use the authorize view component with the roles attribute set to administrator and paste back the link. Okay, that's done. But if you test this now, you won't be able to see the weather menu with any of the users we currently have. That's because all the roles are part of the string array, and Blazor expects them in a different mapping, a role per claim. So, to enable that, I will create a new claims principal factory folder, and inside a new class named multiple role claims principal factory. I will make this class generic by having the t-account generic type parameter, and I will make it inherit from account claims principal factory t-account. This class will be responsible for correctly mapping role claims when they are provided as an array. Additionally, I will constrain t-account to be of type remote user account, ensuring it represents an authenticated user from a remote authentication provider. Now, I will add a constructor to this class. Since the base class requires an iAccess token provider accessor dependency, I will pass it as a parameter to the constructor and forward it to the base constructor. This constructor ensures that my class has access to the same authentication mechanism as the base class. Next, I will override the createUserAsync method. This method is responsible for creating a claims principal based on the user's authentication data. First, I will call the base method to create a user principal and pass the account and the option as arguments. Then I will extract the claims identity from the principal because I will need to modify the claims. If the account exists, I will call a helper method named mapArrayClaims to multiple separate claims, which will process the user's claims and correctly format them if they are stored as an array. Finally, I will return the modified claims principal. Now, I will generate a private static method that I am missing here. First, I will iterate through the additional properties dictionary, which holds extra user information retrieved from the authentication provider. Each item in this dictionary contains a key, the claim type, and a value, the claim data. I will check if the value is not null and whether it is a JSON element, and use the value kind property to check if it's stored as a JSON array. If the claim value is an array, I first need to remove the existing claim to avoid duplication, and the existing claim will be found with the findFirst method using the prop key as an argument. Now, I will create claims variable and enumerate my JSON element so I can use the select method to project the results as a new claim with the key and the value. Finally, I can add the claim to the claims identity. With this done, I have to modify the program class again. I will extend the existing OpenID Connect authentication configuration by calling the add account claims principal factory method. This method allows me to specify a custom claims principal factory, which will control how user claims are processed after authentication. Here, I will pass multiple role claims principal factory remote user account as the generic type argument. This means that instead of using the default claims principal factory, Blazor will use my custom factory to process user claims. Okay, lastly, let's just protect the API endpoint with the administrator role. That's all we need. Now, I will run both apps, log in as a visitor, and I can't see the weather page. Also, I can't access the page via URI. But if I log out and log in as an administrator, I can see the page and also I can see the data. Great. And that wraps up my implementation of role-based access control with Keycloak, Blazor WebAssembly, and .NET Web API. Now, our application properly handles user roles, ensuring that different users have access to only what they should. If you follow along, you now have a solid foundation for managing roles in your own projects. Thanks for watching, and if you found this helpful, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe buttons. So, see you in the next one, and until then, all the best.